This time on Watchers of Tomorrow, staring contest versus Galron begins!
Hello, welcome to Watchers of Tomorrow, the sci-fi review and critique show that respects the old ways. My name is Gepwin, and I am joined, as always, by my friend and co-host, Dr. Isix.
Hi!
And this week we are covering another Star Trek Next Generation episode that is very difficult to Google.
Yes. Because it's a one-word episode title that's, kind of a common word.
Yeah. So last time we had, Star Trek Legacy, which is the name of video games and fan projects and possible reboots and all that jazz. This time we have something that's even worse because we're covering Star Trek Reunion.
So let's have a reunion of all the cast members for this series and then this series and this other series.
Yeah, which means half of the time if you try to search for this, you'll get something about Star Trek Picard.
Yeah.
So anyway, Reunion is a well-done follow-up to an earlier thing from 2 seasons ago.
It's in fact, I'd say there's a lot more meat here, you could say, because the previous episode, it's all right. Okay, so there's a lot of intense good character stuff here going on, but the end result is I guess the plot that kind of brought this all together is kind of resolved in kind of a clever way, but it's not intense or anything there.
Yeah, this is three seasons of story arc. I'm not gonna get on my thing about people complaining about this too much, but I hear so many people saying that Next Gen and the other contemporary Star Treks didn't have continuing story arcs, and that's what makes DS9 so much better. But this is a fucking culmination to 2 different story arcs. In fact, it's the middle of one story arc and the start of another one that's culminating another one and doing this other thing. It's this is referencing stuff that's happened in 2 other seasons.
Yeah, it's the next chapter.
So anyway, this is an episode written by some people. There are a lot of people on this. I am using the 3 that are the main credits on IMDb, so don't complain at me. It's their fault.
Going with the teleplay by or the story by?
Which one was I going by? Writers. IMDb, writers. So it's their fault. Anyway, we got Thomas Perry and Joe Perry, who at this time were a husband and wife writer team, who had worked together on a Simon and Simon and Snoops, which I know was a show. I know was some kind of show with a cop show or something, but it sounds like a Snoopy TV show. I don't. Sounds like if Scooby-Doo was Snoopy.
Yeah. Together at last.
And also did episodes for Sidekicks and The Oldest Rookie, which I guess is kind of just the new rookie. The rookie is just that, but we dropped the oldest.
Snoops is a couple who finds themselves embroiled in murder mysteries. Huh.
And also, of course, Ronald D. Moore, because this is an episode full of Klingon shit. And he does the Klingon shit.
I guess having someone be kind of the go-to person for that is kind of useful in terms of making sure that the storylines are consistent and build on each other.
Yeah, so that's why the Klingon Empire is doing space opera off in the corner while the Federation is doing run-of-the-mill rescue missions and whatnot.
Rescue missions, moving cargo and diplomats, and occasionally running into an Uber being of some sort.
Yeah, very usually some kind of Uber being. Gods, trickster gods,
giant faces,
tears in the space-time continuum.
Yeah. And my info has that Brennan Brago's involved in this somewhere.
Yeah, but he wasn't one of the people listed as writer. So
this is, I believe, his first credit for Star Trek here, but at least as far as writing stuff goes. And he'll be a staff writer from, kind of here until the end of time. Okay, sometime in Enterprise, because he's involved in, being a showrunner there.
Yeah, he does a lot. We also have Drew Dagan, who's around as writer and actor. This is why I didn't list everybody, because it already takes too long to do this section. Then, guest stars. We've got way too damn many, and we have several who are returning who we're just going to mention are returning, and a couple who aren't. So we've got Susie Plackton playing Kilar, who was in her previous appearance as Kalar in Emissary from season 2.
Mm-hmm.
She's around.
And she shows up again later. So,
yeah.
Moving on.
You'll be surprised.
No, this character. Yeah.
And Charles Cooper is playing Kim Peck, who also returns. He was in Sins of the Father playing the old Klingon High Chancellor. He did westerns in the 50s and 60s, like my dad's favorite show, The Rifleman. And he was on Hitchcock Presents The Dad's Best Friend. And he was a different Klingon Chancellor's type dude in Star Trek V, The Final Frontier.
Yeah, that one was more just drunk as opposed to like wielding any real power, but you know.
But basically the same character. They just gave that guy the chancellorship.
Yep.
Because he's still drunk.
Like, I've been at this for a while, man.
And Patrick,
no one tells what's going on.
And Patrick Massett plays Duras, who's also returning from Sins of the Father. Guest spots on several contemporary shows. Better known as a writer-producer in later years. He is most known for co-writing the 2001 Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah, also involved in Friday Night Lights.
Oh. I mean, that was a good movie. I enjoy that movie, not because of the writing.
This is the TV series, not the movie.
Now we've got new people. Robert O'Reilly is playing Gowron, everyone's new favorite Klingon.
Yes. You know, Gowron is an intriguing character that we'll get to know quite a bit throughout the future episodes here. But here he's just sort of the other guy.
Yeah. He is known for being able to bug his eyes out and hiss speaking every other line.
Yes.
Half of Gowron's reoccurring things when he shows up for like Klingon Civil Wars and stuff is like, Duras.
Duras.
I feel like Robert O'Reilly is the only one who is playing a Klingon correctly aside from Michael Dorn.
Yes.
Michael Dorn does the I am serious, uptight, I have to integrate this as part of my culture kind of Klingon. And Gowron is I am just enjoying hamming it up because I'm the only one who realizes I'm in a space opera.
Yep. All these Federation people, I can sort of make fun of them, and it's actually in character. So he'll be, of course, coming back in various episodes of TNG as well as DS9. And not always as Gowron either. So, in Bada Bing, Bada Bang, he shows up as the Count Man, but if you blink, you'd miss it. So,
O'Reilly is hard to talk about because he's an exceptionally prolific actor. Has over 100 credits. Yeah, he was on Star Trek before in Manhunt as one of those dogs.
Ah. It's like,
He also appeared on things like Cheers and Knight Rider and MacGyver, which I'm just picking out because they're the cool ones from the 80s everyone remembers.
And like Dark Justice.
Yeah, that's a cool one from the 80s no one remembers.
He's also in some things in the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah, he's still doing shit. Yeah.
Not as often here, but he's still acting and things like that. And, he's also in tons of Star Trek video games, sometimes as Gowron, sometimes as other Klingons. So, you know.
One of these days, we should find and, do a live stream or something. Because I'm sure that this is online somewhere. I used to have one of those Star Trek VHS board games.
Yes.
Where the Klingons had taken over the ship, and you were on a timer as denoted by the VHS tape, and it would just occasionally play a Klingon guy going like, I see you in Sector 5. Everyone there is trapped behind a force field.
Experience beige!
Which is the thing that we're making fun of in Lower Decks.
Yes.
And we finally have John Paul Suter, who plays Alexander Rozhenko. He started modeling and acting when he was a child because he was very interested in it, and then attended children's modeling shows as someone who was interested in acting and modeling. And one day one of the models didn't attend, so he jumped up on stage and says, I could do it. And a talent agent went, you've got moxie, kid, and then started casting him in things.
So his last credit I'm seeing is in the mid-90s, but it was for Grace Under Fire as Quentin Kelly.
Yeah.
For a whole bunch of episodes.
Apparently, he got the role as Alexander because he was the only kid auditioning who could sit still long enough to get the makeup on.
Oh, that's a good enough reason, I suppose.
Yep. He became a regular on Grace Under Fire until he later formed a glam punk band, spent some time making a vegan restaurant in Portland. He unfortunately committed suicide in 2018, which is why he has not been around.
That's terrible. But this is his only Star Trek credit, if I believe.
Yes, because he was not tall enough the next time they needed to bring Alexander back.
Klingons grow quickly, and in less than a decade, we'll have an adult actor playing Alexander. So
yeah, and no one bothers to mention this because you're not supposed to know what the star dates equate to, honestly.
Yeah. So maybe DS9 is actually set 30 years later.
It probably is. You'll never fucking know.
But at least for this episode, he's supposed to be like 2. So
that's all the main guest stars. There are a bunch of background people. There's like 200 people in this episode.
Yeah, it's like Klingon guard number 4 or something. I don't know.
Klingon guard who explodes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the Enterprise is investigating stellar radiation something science that doesn't matter at all because the Klingon battlecruiser decloaks right in front of them.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter at all. This is the only mention of this, and this mystery goes unsolved.
Yes.
Moving on.
Like, this ship has mentioned a mysterious something. Hey, look, Klingons.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is more interesting.
Oh my god, something interesting is happening.
The Federation flagship is not just scanning a thing. Okay.
I feel like this is just like the state of science in the future has ground to a halt because they go out to investigate whatever. Like, oh my god, there's a weird stellar phenomena. And all the people down in the science labs are like, yeah, this is my shit. I'm going to measure radiation. I love it. And then it's like, fuck Klingons. Why does this always happen?
Yeah. Man, if we'd only just, set here and, had a cloaking device so we can just scan. Hey, Klingons, we don't want to go to, war with the Romulans or something like that. Can we just borrow one for a while?
Yeah, the Federation needs cloaking devices just so they can be left the fuck alone while they scan stars, damn it.
Yes.
So they opened a channel to the Klingon warship to find Kalar, the half-human Federation ambassador to the Klingon Empire.
Oh, well, hello. It's good to see you again. Is there another cryogenic ship to worry about?
Yeah, probably. She's also Worf's old girlfriend. That's important for here. Yeah, because you don't remember the plot of that other episode. You remember them trying to fuck each other.
Yes, and then Worf getting let's do an oath, and she's like, no. Mm-hmm. But I remember.
I'm a modern woman from the 70s.
Yeah. Yes, and so I'm not going to bang and then just get married right away.
Which is interesting in the timeline of that was the late 80s. Now we're into the 90s. So you had I'm a modern independent woman who can have sex and not get married, and now you have I don't know, maybe
do what you like though. In the end of the day, folks.
I'm just speaking timeline wise. I don't usually spend my time thinking about what the cishets are doing. So I don't know. They're having a bad time over there. I wish them well.
Sometimes people just need to chill, and maybe it's time for folks to chill a little bit, and that includes you, Worf.
She is here for Klingon shit, because so the important things to note are Worf is discommendated from the Empire because he was ultimately dishonored by whatever.
Politics.
Yeah. So he decides that...
involving some guy named Duras.
He's like, I shouldn't be involved in this. And Picard goes, you have to be. You're on the crew and you can't hide every time a Klingon shows up.
This is effectively Picard saying, hey, Worf, are you chicken?
Yeah.
Bach?
I would not expect that kind of cowardness from you. So Worf goes down to meet Kalar. She's there to surprise him with her son Alexander in the transporter.
There appears to be a small child with you, lady. Where did you get that?
They decide to just dump him in the school daycare place and then head off. Worf is so pissed that he won't even talk, both from the kid and for Kalar not really caring about his ultimate dishonor.
So it's like, I have stuff to argue about, but you don't give a damn. So,
They have a fun conversation in this, but it's not worth line for lining. I do like it though.
Yeah, so
but yes,
the,
the bullet points. Yes, of course, it's his kid, and she's being kind of flippant about it. Honestly,
think, well, you knocked me up, and it was awkward, but there's a kid now. Okay.
So they get the staff together so Kalar can tell them what's going on. The Empire is on the verge of civil war, which feels like the general just default state for the Klingon Empire, honestly.
Yes. It's like, okay, so sometimes you need to, like, chill and, like, build a civilization occasionally. But apparently all the time they're like, well, we're Klingons. We like fighting. So we'll just fight each other if there's nobody else showing up.
This is why I keep saying that the Klingon Empire is over here doing Dune while the rest of the show is doing Star Trek. Because, like, they're still doing space feudalism. And this is what happens when you do space feudalism.
Yeah, it's everyone jockeying for a position, and you have the ability to raise your own armies and space fleets and go to town on each other. So you do that.
Except the Klingon Empire doesn't have the travel monopoly of the Trade Federation.
Yeah, so they're
so they can go fight each other whenever they want.
Yes, with maybe the limiting factor being people respecting certain types of Klingon rules that are never written down anywhere for the
And I wouldn't blame you for not knowing that that's how stuff works in Dune, since those movies barely mention the Trade Federation and are piss poor adaptations. But I will have to make a rant about that later.
All right.
So they're on the verge of war, and if the Empire goes to war, they're going to draw everyone near them into the war because Klingons do that.
Yes. The Klingons border, the Federation, the Romulans, and probably 12 other important, empires that we never hear about because they're on the far side of them.
Yep.
And so,
And the current High Chancellor of the Klingon Empire, Kempek, is here to meet with Picard alone.
Wait a moment. Why do you like Hale?
Because he's being dramatic.
Oh, okay.
If there's one thing that's very consistent with Klingons, is they are drama queens to the last.
Yes. It's all about showing off your honor and, and you do that by being dramatic.
Kempek is being poisoned in the wine as I take a giant chug of wine.
Yeah, he's basically got Star Trek's version of polonium poisoning here, so he's like just kind of decaying.
Yep, just deal with it. There's no cure. The power struggle coming up. He wants Picard to avoid it. He needs to arbitrate the succession. Kempek can't trust anyone else to do it. Picard's already stuck his nose into the Empire stuff before, so...
So, you could say no, but everyone's already on their way, and I've already told all the caterers and stuff, so,
Yep. Yeah, Picard's like, I can't fucking do that. It's like, well, I've given you absolutely no choice.
So it's, both because, we're close allies to the Federation these days, so, you got to help a bro out here. Also, if you lose face here, then that alliance will fall apart,
Yeah, good luck with
even
that.
Even if, So,
Picard, however, does not have to actually choose the next leader. He just needs to designate who the challengers are, and then they'll kill each other.
Oh, okay. So there's going to be a civil war, but it's going to be small scale?
Yes.
Okay.
So you have Galaron, who's a new dude who nobody's really heard of, and Duras, the man responsible for Worf's dishonor.
So we got the outsider candidate, and we got the insider candidate facing off. And, it's just like American politics where there's an establishment person and there's this other guy who's saying they're not the establishment person, but they also have, like, a lot of support. So it's like they just have a different establishment behind them or something.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Also, one of these two people is the one that killed him.
Gasp.
And a Klingon who would kill someone with poison should never be allowed to lead the Klingon Empire.
Makes sense, I suppose. They're all about being the dramatic and obvious about their moves here, not this sneaking around.
It's one of those issues that you hit. It's like how we discovered a few years ago that most of our American safety net stuff was based on norms and not actual laws.
It's like, there's no mechanism keeping you from poisoning the Chancellor, I suppose, other than people being upset about it and trying to murder you for it. But if no one's going to stand up to do that because, one, they're on your side already, or two, because, no one figures out who did it.
He's got a whole thing. A Klingon who does that would have no honor, and such a man would be capable of anything.
Yeah. So, let's not let that be a thing.
Except I can't do gravelly and deep at the same time. So imagine that, with like a nicer, deeper voice.
And a little bit more mumbly too sometimes.
Yeah, because he's drunk all the time.
Yes.
Anyway, that's it. Dead now. Bye. Good luck.
I'm out of this episode. My corpse will be around later.
Yeah. Worf collects Alexander from school. Not because he's fighting with the other kids, because he's already there, but he happens to be fighting with the other kids in a dishonorable way. Yeah, he's not like, don't fight with the other kids. He's like, you can win against the other kids too easily, and there is no honor in such a victory.
So, yeah, you're going to smack them around, and, you know, it's going to be lame. Come on, kid. Come on. Find someone you can actually, you know, like, go toe-to-toe with, and it'll be a fair fight. I don't know, like Wesley over here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wesley versus a 2-year-old Klingon.
Yes.
Still betting on the Klingon, honestly.
He bit me. Oh.
I don't even think it's bad in the way that they do stuff, but even once Wesley gets to the academy, like, you're supposed to be going through massively intense physical training. Why do you still look like you could be blown over by a stiff breeze?
Maybe the Starfleet uniforms like contain everyone's bulging muscles.
That's why they're so loose.
Yes. And when they, it's like, oh yeah, the actors are putting on weight. Well, we have to make the uniforms a little more, loose. Oh yeah, it's totally just because their bulging muscles are now being kind of forced into certain shapes. I suppose that's the universe explanation now. I'm making it canon.
So Worf is telling Alexander all of the warrior code stuff, and he goes, but I don't want to be a warrior. And then Worf is immediately mad at Kalar for not teaching him how to be a proper Klingon.
Well, he's also, 2 at most, so maybe he doesn't know what being a warrior is?
He's 2 years old. He also is like a quarter human being raised by a half human.
Mm-hmm. So, there's maybe some unusual circumstances going on here.
Though you do have an interesting thing in here, since like humans in the Star Trek universe are ubiquitously like Western white humans. You always wind up with this like imperialist undertone to, but I don't think your ways are worth considering.
Yeah, so there's some awkwardness there.
It's like, individual freedom and all, and I see your point, but also colonialism.
Yeah, so maybe give this some more thought, just in case,
Also, she says Worf doesn't get to complain because he doesn't even want to acknowledge Alexander is his own son. But if Worf does, Alexander will inherit ultimate dishonor because, Klingon shit.
Well, wait a moment. If Alexander doesn't care about that, then why does this actually harm him?
Because he might care about it later. That seems to be the logic here. It's like, what if he wants to live in the Empire one day? He would be shunned and hated.
Well, maybe if you did acknowledge him as your son now and you kept that dishonor business, maybe that would discourage him from living in the Empire because, it might suck.
I mean, he does, have a little bit of a point in that there's been peace between the Federation and the Klingons for years now, and there's still exactly one Klingon hanging around in the Federation. Mm-hmm. So, maybe it's not great for the Klingons to be here.
It's like maybe there's a personality conflict going on here, just in terms of the cultures.
So, Duras and Galeron arrive. Picard decides they will start in 1 hour, because I say so, Duras, fuck off.
I don't want to be here, I don't want to be doing this, I don't want to be dealing with you two, I'm going to make you wait. Bah.
I do enjoy, Picard is such a great, I'm taking charge of a situation, and I'm going to be intentional asshole to you, but I'm going to do it calmly. Mm-hmm. Why the delay? Because I said.
So, deal. Anyway, I'm not going to kill you with kindness, but, this is my version of that.
Worf tells Picard in no uncertain terms that Duras must not be allowed to rule the Council, because his father was the one who betrayed the Klingon Empire, and they pinned it on Worf's father for political expediency. Oh,
yeah, that is maybe a good reason to, keep him out of power from the Klingon perspective here. But Picard isn't a Klingon, so
I agree with the Picard going, I don't agree with the Klingon thing of, the sins of the father, etc. But Duras was still a piece of shit otherwise. Sins of the father, but he still decided that it was worth killing Worf to keep his name intact. That's not exactly great.
Yeah. Picard also has that prime directive thing he's supposed to be following here still, that he's been asked to do this one task, so maybe only doing that one task is all he's willing to do right now.
Yeah. Also, it's very iffy in the way they talk about this, whether the fuck the Prime Directive applies in these circumstances where you're dealing with an equally technological and powerful empire. That you're not exactly having a profound impact of the development of their society, your allies.
You know, it sort of falls into the, well, we're just kind of doing normal politics things, I suppose, now. So, you know, it's like us interacting with, other members of NATO, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that always goes well. So anyway, this is mostly exposition to explain to the audience what happened in that other episode in case you didn't see it. They go to the ship and perform a ceremony to prove that Kim Peck is dead, which mostly involves stabbing him with pain sticks.
Kind of fun in terms of like, all right, here's some weird Klingon ritual stuff going on here. But it's like, okay, pain stick to this guy, and he does not respond. Okay, and we got to do it twice more.
So this is actually interesting because there's some interesting historical precedent for this. Because before we understood vital signs and had checkers and stuff easily, there was this big fear of being, buried alive, because occasionally you would encounter someone in a coma, and before we fully understood comas, you would sometimes be like buried while in a coma, because we didn't fully understand what a coma was.
They seem non-responsive. They're still kind of warm, I guess, but bodies do that for a while after they die, right?
Yeah. That's like that's the origin of the term wake. You used to like sit around all night awake with the body to see if it was dead. But they used to do all kinds of stuff to bodies to see if they would respond before they buried them, because there was such a paranoia about this burying someone alive thing. And they had stuff up to and including shoving hot pokers into some very uncomfortable places.
Yeah, if you're just in a coma though and they're doing that to you, ow.
Yeah. Also, it's kind of an interesting one of like, some of that stuff would kill you. So
yeah. he might be dead. Well, let's make sure.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you're in a coma or not. Personally, if like the choice was trying to survive a coma in the Victorian era and just like beheading you quickly while you're asleep.
Let's just go with the beheading. It's much faster and,
So they do the pain stick thing. Duras goes, "We have finished all that. Now you should name us both so we can just kill each other and get this over with." And then everything explodes.
This Klingon, cruiser here, it must be faulty, right?
Yeah, it's definitely just the normal panel explosions.
We're not under attack or investigating space lice, so what's going on?
One uses the explosion as an excuse to visit Kalar because she was there. And he's like, "Well, I need your report on whether you're okay, not for personal reasons."
Oh, really then? Huh.
She says she's sorry that she didn't tell him about Alexander, which, it is a little bit of a dick move, I will say. This is just a touch.
Yeah, a little bit. Especially just to show up here with him and, give him no warning.
Like, it's not a whole, like, oh, no, but what about him and how much it hurts him? But, like, it is still a little bit of a dick move to be like, yeah, I'll just never tell you have a kid.
I have run into folks who found out they had, like, adult children, like, and were completely unaware of it. So it's sort of a, there's maybe a lot I would have liked to have been maybe involved in here, but hey, at least I found out eventually, right?
So she knows that Worf does want to be with Alexander, but can't because of the whole dishonor thing, etc., etc. She doesn't believe the story about Worf and his dad, because it doesn't seem in character for Worf. But Worf keeps wallowing away in dishonor, so,
Yeah, and also she's not getting a lot of the details here at all, so she's like, what is this even actually about? So
nothing.
Yeah, we're not going to mention anything because it's my dishonor, and
Yeah, I said if you won't be his dad, at least be his friend. Aww.
I'll see what I can do.
By friend, you mean sparring partner.
Yes, that's what friends do.
So Picard and Kalar meet about the upcoming ceremony because they need time to investigate the bomb, but he can't find excuses to delay announcing the challengers much longer because the modern ceremony is very fast. And he goes, oh, the modern ceremony? What about the old ceremony? It's like, oh, well, that could take days.
Oh, really then?
It is called the Jachich, which means that both of the possible challengers must list all of their achievements and virtues to prove that they are worthy to challenge for leadership of the council.
Well, that makes sense, actually. I hope we keep doing this sort of thing if someone just kind of out of the blue decides today want to be chancellor in the future.
It's also kind of interesting, and out of character for the Klingons that they stopped doing this.
Yes.
So you're saying that you had a multi-day ceremony, possibly involving pain sticks, where you talked about how honorable and awesome you are, and you changed it to, I don't know, you two kill each other, I guess.
Probably a case of the bloodlust overwhelmed the drama at some point, and they're like, let's just go for it, I guess.
So this is what Picard decides that he's going to do, much to Duras and Gowron's annoyance. Worf is having some bonding time with Alexander and the cool sword that he got. It's his cool family sword.
Yeah, this is the first time I believe we run into a Batleth.
Mm-hmm. Then Gowron tries to bribe/threaten Kalar into speeding up the Jadik. And LaForge has finished looking at the bomb, and it's a standard explosion, except it has a molecular decay detonator that's only used by Romulans, which seems like a pretty dumb thing to use right now.
Yeah. So Klingons don't apparently have explosives?
Yeah, I thought Romulans were smart.
Maybe Romulans don't know that they're the only people that use those.
Or there's some sort of broader, we will destabilize the Klingon Empire by helping somebody, but then putting our fingerprints all over it so that the entire Empire is under suspicion of Romulan incursion.
So you could have multiple ways to disrupt things, and it all kind of hinges on, the Federation not finding out at this point.
Mm-hmm. So now they know the Romulans are backing one of the challengers, but they don't know which. Of course, Duras has a history with this, but Picard doesn't prescribe to, like father, like son thing the same way Klingons do. Gowron didn't do himself any favors by trying to threaten Kalar, so they're both under extreme suspicion.
Though, Kalar turning him down might be the reason he bans women from the council.
Yeah.
Gowron's kind of petty like that.
Also, they're having this discussion, and they're like, we know Duras and the Romulans would definitely work together. And Kalar goes, oh, why? Nothing.
Oh, vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, really, you're accusing one of the two people of something that would be the ultimate betrayal of Klingon culture. And you expect me to go just reasons.
It's, my fortune cookie said such. Yeah.
So Picard
decides
that he wants Worf at the next meeting with the chancellors because it will make them mad.
And, sometimes pushing the buttons of the Klingons is important in order to get the appropriate reaction from them.
I like the thing. It's first because this is a security matter dealing with the Federation. It's but that will make them intensely angry. It's yes. Yes, it will.
Okay, then, just so we're set that Picard, you're going to be hanging out in a room with a couple of angry Klingons. Have fun.
So, Kalar starts doing her own research on Duras, and Picard lets Duras and Gowron know that they've finished looking into the bomb, and then he has Worf come in to question them. It makes them very, very angry and emotional. And then he goes, this has a molecular decay detonator. And they're like, holy shit, what?
What? How? What?
How did we not know that? We have to run off and confirm this.
Yeah, we're Klingons. We scan it once and then don't actually analyze the data. So,
Yeah, we punched it,
surprised.
And it was dead.
Yeah.
We found the bomb and we punched it and it didn't do anything. So we went, fine.
Yeah. So that's all we need to do, right? But you found something else? What?
Duras goes to his quarters on board where his aide has been advised that Kalar is doing research on him. So Duras has his people distract the guards so he can run off.
Yeah,
the guards on this ship are very stupid.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to totally look over here, and there's not, any way anyone could sneak off behind me.
Yeah. Insert RuPaul, look over there meme.
Look over there!
So he goes to confront Kalar, who gets in his face about the whole thing of him working with the Romulans. I'm sure this will end well for everyone involved.
Yeah.
At the same time, Dr. Crusher's found that the bomb was in fact implanted into one of the Klingons' arms. It was Duras's guy.
So, this guy's betrayed Duras.
Yeah,
right?
That's exactly. It is, in fact, the only thing that makes this make any damn sense, because, like, why in the world... What was he trying to accomplish here? He's like, I'm going to show up to this ceremony, demand that we speed things along so we can get this over with, and then just cause a random-ass explosion for no real reason. It doesn't even seem like... The only thing you could say is maybe he's trying to assassinate Gowron, but the guy was nowhere near Gowron.
So I actually have kind of a plausible explanation for this, and not one of my, like, weird fanfic ones. That... so we've tested the body. He's dead. It's time for the thing. So name us the contenders, and we'll go at it. Wait, we're not doing that immediately? And then the guy with the bomb in his arm is like, what do I do now? I was supposed to go off if Gowron started winning. I'll do it now. So maybe it was a panic moment.
Yeah, he picked the flightiest Klingon.
Yeah.
The Worf returns... because he's bringing Alexander back to their quarters after sparring, I think, probably. And they find Kalar dying.
Oh, no!
He calls for medical, who takes years and years to arrive. On a ship with, like, site-to-site transporters and shit, you go like, we have a medical emergency, and it takes them longer to show up than if I called the hospital right now.
Yes. So, yeah, they should really have, like, a transporter in the sick bay.
Also, well, they do. They show that all the time. No. They, like, beam us directly to sickbay.
But they just decided not to do that. Or I guess maybe it's inappropriate to use site-to-site transporters without captain's permission or something.
Also, this ship just is, like, low-level monitoring everyone's vital signs at all times. Mm-hmm. And you don't have a medical alert system. Yeah,
that would be, useful if you're going to be, scanning everyone constantly. And if I recall in Voyager, like they're scanning people's brain waves via the ship constantly. So it's like if you have that level of detail on people, you should be able to do something about this and have, like, a system in place.
Yeah, there's absolutely no point to having that level of surveillance if you're not going to use it in a medical emergency.
Yeah. Or alternatively, they, have strong rules against medical intervention without, someone asking for help. It's the second prime directive or something.
So, Kalar dies while she's putting Alexander and Worf's hands together. Like, you two take care of each other. Blah.
Okay. You are dead. Oh, I thought we were going to do a recurring character thing again.
Yeah, Worf yells at the sky, that Klingon thing that we see, like, I think this might be the last time they even bothered to do it.
I'm trying to remember if there's another time that comes up. There might be one other time, but I don't remember what it is. So.
Then he tells Alexander to look at death and remember.
Okay.
Scar yourself, child. Scar yourself in the Klingon way.
Yeah, I'm getting some good childhood trauma here. I'll hold on to this and let it fester for a while.
Yeah. Crusher finally gets there and lets Worf leave because someone has to look after the kid.
I guess, Crusher, you gotta keep an eye on the kid and the body, and Worf is off to do Worf things now.
He takes off, Worf runs off, and he takes off his sash and his comm badge, which somehow suggests that the sash has something to do with the Federation.
Maybe he's worried about it getting in the way of, like, being an action man here.
Then he transports over to Duras' ship with his sword. Because there's apparently, they have a person in every transporter room at all times. And yet anytime one of the bridge crew wants to just, like, fuck off, they just leave.
It's like, maybe there's a schedule for when the people, the transporter chiefs, like, go on their bathroom break or something. And it's like, I could sneak in here and no one will notice.
Gar and Riker work out where Worf went so that they can arrive just in the nick of time for dramatic reasons later. Mm-hmm. Duras tries to dismiss Worf for, him being dishonored. But then Worf goes, Kalar was my mate and I demand the right of revenge.
Oh.
And Duras goes, okay, cool, and grabs his sword.
Now, I think it's important that there are other Klingons here so that Duras doesn't just, like, pull a gun and shoot him.
Yeah. He has to save face, because otherwise he probably would, because he's a dirty little cheater man.
I guess I can take you down. I'm a mighty Klingon warrior. I've been fighting, constantly with other Klingon warriors my whole life.
This is probably the only reason he actually accepts this, because he doesn't really have a reason to otherwise. I'm pretty sure with how much dishonor they've been talking about, he would be well within his rights to go like, if you gave up all rights to Klingon culture and whatever.
Yeah.
But, he has to save face and not look like a dirty little dishonorable cheater man.
Yeah, especially right before he's going to become the head of the Klingon Empire, so,
It becomes obvious almost immediately that Worf is the superior fighter.
See, when Klingons are, not invading people, they're mostly fighting against each other, and half of that is, ship-to-ship stuff, and the other half is barroom brawls. And Worf actually, practices fighting.
Yes, he trains
for reals.
For fun.
Yeah.
I know that this is I know this is just a TV show thing. I always find it very funny how slow the choreography on these things is. They're basically doing that thing where they spin around in a big slow circle and go, yeah, clang. Yeah, clang.
It kind of looks cool, but it's, not actually good fighting.
Yeah, well, a bat'leth already is one of the fundamentally worst designs for a martial arts weapon that anyone has ever produced.
Yeah.
It's curved wrong.
For fight.
It doesn't make any sense. Its angles are not good for leverage.
Maybe fighting with inefficient weapons is one of the Klingon pride things, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
Anything else would be too easy.
You want to fight me with a sword? I will fight you with a hula hoop with sticks on it. Ha ha! Duras tries to convince Worf to stop because he's the only one who can clear Worf's name. Worf says, well, that's just how it's going to be then. And Riker arrives just in time to watch Worf stab Duras through the chest.
So, Duras is now dead. Short-lived the House of Duras, I suppose.
Worf is such a better fighter that he gets Duras down and has time to do a double hand swap spinny thing on his sword before he stabs him.
Yes.
Not only am I going to kill you, I'm going to kill you with a flourish.
So all these other Klingons that are watching will know I'm legit here.
Yeah, they're like, ooh, the 360 no scope. What a dishonor.
Yeah. Yeah, and our boss got killed by this dishonorable dog, and he was also this dishonorable guy is also a badass.
This is probably step one in his "we will regain my family's honor" plan. Everybody on this ship just went, hey, the guy that we discommendated a bit ago? He just killed one of the most powerful people in the Klingon Empire in the most badass way. There were flips and shit.
That's pretty nice. Maybe we should keep an eye on him and not badmouth him as much.
So the Klingons leave. Picard yells at Worf a bit because randomly killing people is not okay according to the Federation, even though the Klingons are no, it's fine. This is settled.
Yeah.
This was well within Klingon law. He had the right to kill the dude, and it's fine.
Also, if it's jurisdiction, place, it was on the Klingon ship, so, the rules should be applying there, right?
Yeah. He'll get a reprimand on his record saying, did Klingon shit? But Picard is definitely on his side, because they stopped to talk about how he could get his honor back now that Duras is dead. And he goes, no, that is a story for another time.
Okay, so this is not a two-parter. Got it.
And Alexander is going to live with Worf's family because we don't want another kid on board.
And plus, they're used to dealing with small Klingon children. They'll be fine.
Yeah, don't worry about it. They are older than they used to be, but they'll probably be okay.
I wonder if Worf's adopted parents have I don't know, stun sticks or something like that, just in case. He's getting rowdy again.
His mom already knows how to make blood pie. Yeah. Also, yes, I am your dad, and have a big hug.
Yeah, well, that was a nice coming together.
This thing, this ending annoys the shit out of me, because if you were just going to have Alexander leave anyway, and just have him be a guy who pops up occasionally to do Worf father-son shit, you had absolutely no reason at all to kill off Kalar.
Correct.
She could have still been there. He could have just gone off and lived with his mom. They could have had a long-distance thing, and every other weekend it's well, it's time for you to take Alexander and do some father-son Enterprise adventures.
Yeah, and so we could still have, a fistful of whatever's there, and Klingons in the Old West adventure, because
and they can go back home and go, mommy, daddy almost got me killed on the holodeck again.
Worf, why'd you do that? It wasn't my fault. Data was being computers.
This is
Never
why Klingon
mind.
ships don't have holodecks. They are decidedly less dangerous than Federation ships. Like, all they did was fridge this person for no reason and take away an interesting reoccurring character for nothing. It's not even like, it's not important to Worf's character arc overall. It's they don't need her dead in order to give an excuse for why the kid's here, because the kid's not here. There's nothing. There's no reason that they needed to kill her for this episode to work in the way they wanted it to work.
Yeah, if you want Worf to still kill Duras, there's plenty of reasons for him to still
he's
kill
got a
kill
lot
Duras.
of reasons to kill Duras. He didn't need another reason to kill Duras.
You could have, they figure out who planted the bomb, and Duras realizes that they're about to spill the beans, and so he challenges Worf to a fight, and thinking it's like, oh yeah, I'll. He's the one who was about to spill the beans here, so if I kill him, then this is my last chance to not be found out. And then they have a fight, and Duras is like, this is going to be easy. Oh, wait, it's not.
Also, like, you could have had he already has every reason in the world to kill fucking Duras overall. But, like, you could have had the same plot and figured out, like, oh, we figured out that he's working with the Romulans, but for whatever reason, we can't actually, we can't, prove it enough for the Klingons to call the thing off. I'm the one with ultimate dishonor, so if I go and kill him, I can't get more dishonored than I'm already dishonored.
So, this is your easy out here, guys.
And then Picard goes, we're not in the business of killing people, or even if it would create a bad situation for the Federation. And he's like, okay, bye, I'll not be over on the Klingon ship killing people. Definitely not me, no.
It's like, well, I'll just have to go where the jurisdiction is not my captain's. Got it. Yeah, I do think it's important there to note that Picard's sort of drawing a big circle about if you need to do this kind of level of Klingon stuff in the future, you can't be in Starfleet at the same time. Does set up for some future stuff where Worf actually resigns for a while. And then is off for months on end doing Klingon stuff.
Yeah, which, good setup. But TNG didn't do character arcs.
Yeah. I get, 80% of them, though, are Worfs, so.
That is true. It's mostly Klingon shit.
So other than the fridging, I'd say I enjoyed this episode, and gets us to see a bit more Klingon culture without it just being, bashing each other's heads in, I suppose.
Yeah, all the Klingon stuff is great.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed at the fridging, but all the Klingon stuff is great.
Yeah, we're sort of building up this idea of this particular culture where this is sort of, there's lots of rituals, but there's also, violence, that it's all sort of going back and forth trying to regulate each other on that. And, there is a certain amount of politicking going on, but how it works in the Klingon Empire is different than both the Federation of that time as well as, sort of modern American experiences, because it's feudalism in space.
And it's a great thing with that you can just take a break. I think that's one of the Star Trek strengths that they don't utilize very well anymore. Because you can have this great diversity of species lets you just go well, this week we want to write a space opera, so let's bring in the Klingons for that one.
Yeah, have some dramatic nonsense going on. You've got this new Klingon guy who might come back over and over again in the future, and this other dude will get shanked, and there we go. We had some fun, and now the space opera's over. Go back to our regular scheduled Star Trek.
Overall, I think that they just did a good job with the politicking.
Yes. The
Klingon stuff is good politicking, even though, it doesn't make a ton of sense. I always love it, even though they're making up the rules as they go.
But they do, I guess, reflect in some ways how politics does kind of work in the U.S. at times. I sort of mentioned the insider versus outsider dynamic, which is something that kind of plays, is a mechanism in modern-day politics as well, where there's someone who's like, I'm not like these politicians that everyone has found themselves disliking. I am going to be the outsider candidate, something fresh, something new, and totally different than all these other guys. And I'm not going to do the same things, even though I will. Or sometimes even worse. Because, there is, numerous instances, where yeah, this is a quote man of the people sort of candidate, and they come in various formats, ideologies, etc. And there is something attractive about that to folks, where it's like, all right, so this is something fresh, something new, and it sort of short circuits some of the critical thinking that might be going on when evaluating various candidates for things. Because instead of like, all right, what is their actual policies? It's this person is just different, and I want something different because whatever's going on right now, it's bad.
Yeah, Americans tend to have a dumb, like, well, if the person in charge is a different person, it will change, right?
Yeah, and it's sort of a well, it might not, it might change for the worse. Maybe we should evaluate more deeply than the sort of very surface level sort of perceptions of things. But well, there's plenty of folks that are just going to be a shiny new thing, and let's go with that. And then you have the Duras with the, as I sort of framed it, the insider power there. This is a guy who's been on the High Council. He has won support from various folks there, and has all the power brokers behind him, and they can pull strings to support him and convince people that trust those particular folks. It's like, hey, this is your guy, you should probably back him, which is another dynamic that happens in modern day politics, where instead of using this idealized opportunistic vision of this is the person who is different, it's you can trust me, so trust this other guy, the endorsement game. And so they are two different politicians trying for this particular thing, with very different tactics to go about it. But they are still, at the end of the day, politicians doing political stuff.
I think there's an interesting
they just do it
thing
loudly.
in this one in particular, since like one of the things that they did say specifically is one of these two people will respect our general norms and traditions and shit. Which is the only thing that our society is balanced on right now.
Yes.
So even if, like, on paper, both of them sort of do, like, kind of back the same things or aren't even that particularly different, ideologically, one of them will drag everything into utter chaos the second that it suits them, and the other one might not.
Yep.
The other one at least has enough respect for our cultural norms that they aren't going to try to completely undermine it for personal gain.
In fact, they might be viewing it as the cultural norms are something to be leveraged for their personal gain, and so they need those to exist and to be well established and respected.
Yeah, which, there's pros and cons, but someone who's willing to burn down the entire nation to make themselves an extra buck is usually worse.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah. So modern United States politics is, vibing on that right now.
No, I don't see how there'd be any particular similarities.
If only if we had, Picard and Worf around, and, Worf with a murder, impulse going on. Maybe we could have had a different debate night, a few years back.
That would be fun. You had a certain point where it's like, yeah, I think we should just turn this into a fight.
All right, who wants to throw the first punch? Anyone? Come on, you wanna.
That would have been funny to see with our last New York mayoral debate. I would have loved to see those three try to fight each other. Only people who know anything about New York politics will find that funny, because we have this guy who just runs every year to make Republicans look bad. And like most of his personality at this point is like losing our mayoral primaries over and over again.
That's the beret guy, right?
Yeah, the beret guy. He has zero chance of winning, and his entire personality is like, I run for mayor every year.
I mean, Vermin Supreme is having fun with his runs for president. He knows he's not going anywhere, but he likes to poke fun at the whole process, and that's like his thing. It's not I'm trying to just become the perennial candidate that everyone disregards. He's going out there being like, this process is kind of absurd, so I'm going to have fun with that. So yeah, there's definitely, a certain kind of candidate where it's like, oh, you're running again, Lyndon LaRouche. Does anyone care? No? All right, that's just your whole thing now, being a weird creep and, running for president.
Yep.
Is he dead yet? I forget.
I don't know. I think that these episodes, when they put Picard in these things, give a really interesting look at your sort of general power positions and how they can work with these. Because Picard, by all rights in these things, has no leg to stand on. He's not in this culture. Any of these people are stronger than he is. He should be bowled over by most of these guys, just almost instantly. Mm-hmm. But he's able to wield his political knowledge and sort of ability to take over negotiations and shit to such a degree that he just unquestioningly winds up being able to take over any of these situations.
It's pretty great. I even think that there's some aspect of the Klingons involved themselves are here to respect a process, and if they disrespect it all, that undermines their position. But also, Picard's not letting them give him any shit. So
yeah, I think that we've kind of lost overall. If you look at the way that we depict these things in media, I think we've kind of lost our general admiration for complicated political gamesmanship. Mm-hmm. You don't kind of get the, well, I figured out this very clever legal maneuvering thing that actually trapped you in an inhospitable political situation. Haha. Now we just have a bunch of people being assholes to each other. Yeah.
This is making good use of the rules reminds me of an episode of Babylon 5 actually. The dock workers go on strike because the conditions have become rather unsafe, with deaths and everything. And the folks back home activate the Rush Act, which lets the commander of the station be like, well, it says I can solve this whole situation by any means necessary. You say any means necessary. So I'm going to take some of the money from the weapons budget and put that into dock safety.
Yeah,
problem solved.
You said any means necessary, by which you obviously meant, shoot them, but yes. I'm going to give them a raise.
Yeah, so, I've solved the problem. Everything's cool.
Did you not want me to solve the problem?
Yeah, if that's the case, you shouldn't have activated this thing here. Good times. So yeah, fun Klingon politics.
Yeah, the only other thing that you get to talk about with the Klingons is, they make feudalism look cool. Feudalism is bad, though, ultimately. This society would not function. And you can examine the way that they show different kinds of masculine power relationships. But that's not what they want to be examining, so it's not actually that in depth.
Yeah. For it to be even plausible to work, you kind of have to assume okay, so the Klingons, they have this feudal system, so let's borrow some of the ideas from Earth's feudal past. And so there's a centralized power hub that has subsidiary power hubs, and each one of these has a smaller overall control of various things, and so you can kind of be okay, so maybe there's only 1 million Klingons outside of their home world, in total, and they've just managed to conquer lots of random planets and subjugate the locals. And the locals are well, we're actually pretty good at running our own planet. We'll just say you're in charge and give you a tax on stuff so you don't kill us anymore. How about that?
Yeah, it's very unclear what they're even taxing
maybe that's how it works.
On. Worms, I guess.
Worms and guns, I guess. Klingon, tech has to come, and construction needs to come from somewhere after all.
It's kind of like one of those things where feudalism is terrible because of how much it has to oppress everyone under it to function, as is a lot of these systems. But then you get hit the Klingon Empire, where you have a post-scarcity society, because Klingons also have replicators. Mm-hmm. So now they're just doing it for funsies.
It's this is the top level Klingon stuff here, and everything below this, just don't pay attention to it because it's actually functional.
Well, I think it does show. It's kind of like this is what the society always valued, and when they were removed from having to worry about resources and that kind of distribution stuff, they just decided to lean into this.
It's all show and pageantry, just with a lot more stabbing.
Yeah, we decided to stab each other. You all decided to better yourselves and the people around you.
You know, the Romulans decided to be paranoid, and the Ferengi decided to be greedy, and it's like, well, we technically have post-scarcity going on here, but luxury goods, that's where it's at.
The Ferengis did the American thing of like, if we invented replicators tomorrow, we would make them exceptionally expensive and charge you a premium to use them.
Yep. In fact, that's kind of where we're going right now, just generally with everything. So, 3D printers.
Well,
they're a little expensive, aren't they?
3D printers don't do that.
Yes.
3D printers make stuff quickly, but more toxically and worse.
Now, there is active research into making them better, but it does take time, and yeah, we're not quite there yet.
Yeah, and you're also just not going to hit it with the level of, like, the way the technology works right now, unless we come up with a completely different way to do the printing, they're just going to be mildly worse versions of most things.
That way you can still make the 3D model that you came up with in that dream last night a reality, Gapwin.
Yeah, but why?
Oh, why not?
I honestly kind of hate the way that 3D printed stuff looks and feels, and I don't want to have to do that much sanding and get a bunch of, like, random plastic dust everywhere to make anything look good.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I would like is if we made less stuff out of random plastic and resin.
Maybe more stuff out of neutron matter.
Yeah. Well, like, I have so much stuff in my house that is, like, made with bits of plastic that don't need to be. Like, half of this thing could be metal and most of this thing could be wood, and there's no reason that any of these things are plastic except it's cheap right now.
So maybe we should make plastic really expensive for a while.
Yes, that would be great. Make plastic more expensive than aluminum and other things that we can, recycle and are more sturdy and aren't going to dissolve into your skin and slowly kill you.
Yeah. So, Gepwin, let's go into, grab an asteroid and we'll mine it down. How about that?
Yeah, that'd be great. Aluminum's really expensive to mine, which is why it's really important for you to recycle aluminum.
Yes. Aluminum likes to be in chemical compounds and such when it's in sort of the natural situation there. And it's like, well, you kind of need to extract it, and then, eventually at some point it's like, oh, we're going to have to have an electrolyzer going on and to pull some things apart.
The good news is once you get it out, it's almost infinitely recyclable with no loss in quality. You just need to, do that.
Yes.
It's one of only 3 things that we can do that with.
Yeah, it is interesting that, you go back to the 1800s, and if you have a gram of aluminum, it's worth more than its weight in gold. Mm-hmm. So
I read this fascinating thing a while back that when they were exploring the Americas trying to find the whole Golden City thing, they found a ton of platinum. It's mass amounts of platinum. It was fairly common. And they threw it all away because it was one of the things that people used to use to imitate gold.
Well, then.
So there's just tons of platinum that they found and dumped into the ocean.
So what you're saying is if we start trawling off the coasts with a giant magnet, we'll get all the aluminum back.
Yeah, well, platinum. I don't think platinum's very magnetic,
platinum.
though. Nor is aluminum. My God, I just heard 40 geese fly by.
Honk.
Yeah. Lots of honk.
Yeah, I know aluminum's not magnetic, but I've never actually looked into the properties of platinum, really, because it doesn't really come up in my work at all.
Yeah, we can figure this out. Let's see.
It's probably fairly far from ferromagnetic properties and all.
Is platinum magnetic? 10 less answers to your platinum questions. Platinum will not be attracted to a magnet. Many people notice platinum jewelry sticks to magnets. Probably because it's not pure platinum.
Magnetic properties of platinum metal and their alloys. All right, so we got an abstract here. I got a 1 megabyte PDF file here. Shall I start reading?
Sure.
All right. Although they are paramagnetic, the platinum metals, especially platinum, palladium, and rhodium, are capable of interacting in alloys with other metals to form ferromagnetic or very ferromagnetic materials. Well, that's kind of cool.
Oh, nice.
Diluted. So if you're basically combining it with iron or cobalt, it looks like you get some cool stuff.
That's fun. This is, in fact, how I do research for this show.
Yes.
Like we randomly read studies sometimes.
Yes.
It's fun. You should try it.
Yeah, it helps bring yourself some enlightenment. So we're talking about platinum now.
Yeah. What
does
were
that
we
mean?
supposed to be talking about? If we get distracted enough that we start talking about non-ferrous metals, it's probably time for the galaxy's favorite game show.
Ferrous metals. They're magnetically awesome. Anyway, welcome to the Galaxy's Favorite Game Show. We got ourselves some contestants here. Some of them are eyeing each other up and looking to murder each other, but Gowron put down the knife. There you go. All right, so let's start racking up some points here. And Duras, we've got your whole list here of accomplishments. Okay, moving on. All right, so first up is the TV Love Story Prize, which goes to Worf and Kalar. The then on again, off again, on again, off again, one of them's now dead, time for a revenge storyline we've all seen a million times before. It's played out once more. What do they win, Geplin?
They win the fridge collection, where you get to store all of your dead love interests and keep them nice and fresh for use later. Mm-hmm. That way you don't need to keep on bringing in new ones.
So, Worf, maybe you should make use of this here. So, later reasons. Anyway, our second prize is the Klingon Candles Prize, which goes to Picard for opting to use the full ritual and process for the leader selection dealie. Much to the annoyance of the candidates, so what does he win, Geplin?
He wins bringing Dr. Pulaski back for some of the Klingon episodes. She seems to be this weird Klingon expert, and I think it would be very funny to just bring her in as like, okay, we're doing a ceremony here. I've got poison flowers, I got spines, I got whatever.
I got antidotes for all the humans and all the folks that will die being even just in the same room as this stuff. All right, we're good to go. All right, our final prize is the You Have No Honor Prize, which goes to Duras for murdering Kalar. At least he's willing to fight Worf one-on-one, but because there's witnesses and all that. Anyway, what does Duras win, Geplin?
Duras and the Klingons more generally win the concept of the dunce hat. Because they keep murdering each other, but I feel like if they figured out public shaming, they'd be much happier with it in their weirdly ultimate honor-based society.
Which I suppose the discombination is supposed to be like that, but no one takes it except for Worf. So, that's all I got here today, Geplin. Now I gotta keep my eyes open, otherwise Gowron, will win the staring contest.
Yeah, you'll never win a staring contest with Gowron. Those buggy eyes. Thank you, everyone, for being here and joining us on the Galaxy's Favorite Game Show. One thing that I always think of whenever they do something with Worf's sash is I saw a making of thing ages ago where they were talking about Worf's sash and how they wanted to add futuristic cool stuff to it. So they found a guy who was making animated future jewelry, and it was little these tiny little crystal display screens that would blink occasionally. Looking at that now, it's my God, that is the most 90s retro thing you can possibly imagine. It's a tiny liquid crystal display that was on a bulky piece of jewelry so that it could have batteries in it.
It's this is more distracting than anything really at this point.
It's so futuristic.
It's from the future, man. It has lights.
All right, so we next week have some Romulan shenanigans.
Yeah. And there's some gray streaks as well.
I haven't seen this episode in ages, but I remember loving it. I don't remember all the details, but I remember this being such a good episode.
Yeah, it's fairly solid. There's a interesting mystery about. We have everyone aging gracefully, I suppose.
This is when Next Generation does that thing that that Discovery did, where they just suddenly jump the timeline forward, and they go with it and no one cares.
Yeah. And it's fun when stuff like this happens, and maybe this is the real reason that Alexander grows up so quickly.
Yeah, time shenanigans.
Yeah. Also, we get to hang out with Andreas Katsoulis again, so that's pretty cool.
Yes. So we get good old Tomalak back, and we get old Riker and old everybody else.
And there's also the return of the transporter chief from the episode we just covered. She's not super important for this one, but, she's there.
But it's fun that it happened twice.
Yeah. It's not O'Brien. It's April Grace playing the technician Hubble. Oh, and also Ogawa's in this next episode.
Yeah. That's so many people. We get Ogawa. We get Tomalak back. We get random tech person. We get other transporter chief.
Yeah. So this is pretty cool. Got a lot of guest stars. We got a jump into the future. It's almost like they're laying out a whole new a starter cast here, so that the actors now can start retiring because they're like, in their 70s and stuff.
Yeah, except you know that this is not going to last because this is a very Jonathan Frakes centered episode, and he does not want to be acting anymore at this point.
Yes.
He is doing directing now.
Yes. So it's very much it's like, all right, so we got to have some Riker centric episodes. I'm like, well, can they be significant but not at the same time?
So next episode we have Future Imperfect, not to be apparently confused with the Incredible Hulk story Future Imperfect.
Also, isn't that a V&V Nation album?
Probably. It's like a good name. It's probably a lot of shit.
No, that's Future Perfect. Is their fourth studio album.
Oh, see, you confused it. It's Future Imperfect, you see, because it's maybe not as perfect as you thought it was.
Yeah, it's the future where V&V Nation didn't make that album.
Yep, and that's why it's not perfect.
Next time on Watchers of Tomorrow, Small Child versus Riker. You have been listening to Watchers of Tomorrow, a podcast on science fiction media. Find and listen to Watchers of Tomorrow on Podbean, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Digital Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Google Play, and many more places where podcasts can be found. If you enjoyed our podcast, make sure to subscribe for more. And make sure to rate your experience or leave us a review. You may find Gepwin on YouTube as Gepwin and on Pillow Fort. You may find Dr. Isix, on YouTube and Blue Sky. Music is Waveform and Mori's Principle, both by DRKRN, and Quirky Dog by Kevin MacLeod. Check out the Watchers of Tomorrow Discord channel. You may also find Watchers of Tomorrow on Tumblr. Make sure to share the experience of Watchers of Tomorrow with your friends, loved ones, enemies, alien overlords, and your doppelganger from the mirror dimension. Have a good day, and ahead, warp factor heckin' fast.
Ferrous metals, on the other hand, that's always on topic.